All right, with that down and out of the way, let's move on to main topic number 2. And the second main topic today comes to us from Subhasish Nayak, who writes, "Hey John, the Child's Play reviews are out and it's looking like it turned out to be way better than what we were expecting, 72% on Rotten Tomatoes. I was planning on going to see it tonight, but canceled all my plans after seeing that they were lifting the review embargo so late. Do you think this may cost them lots of viewers like me?" All right, thanks a lot for the question, man. And you know what? Double checking it out right now. If I go over to Child's Play 2019 Rotten Tomatoes, at one point last night it was at like 72%. Today, a few hours later, it has, as of right now, dropped down. It's dropped 10%. It's dropped down to 62%, which is still way better than what I was expecting. I mean, yeah, it's dropped 10% overnight, but it's sitting at 62% right now, which is far better than what I was expecting. Now, granted, even the people who are liking, as I'm reading through the reviews, even the people who are saying, yeah, this was enjoyable, they're not saying they loved it. So keep that in mind. So last night, I decided to go and see Chucky because I was like you. I said, I'm not going to go see this movie. If the studio's not going to let the reviews come out and they're hiding it, and they're going to play dirty with the audience like that, if they don't believe in the film, I'm not going to believe in the film, and I'm not going to go see it, even though I already had tickets for it. Then I saw it come out to like 69, 70%, and I'm like, well, crap. I guess I should go see it. So I went to go see it. What did I think of Child's Play 2019? Let me put it this way. It is a truly awful movie. It is a truly awful movie that admittedly has some truly hilarious moments. Some absolutely hilarious moments, most of which brought to us by Mark Hamill doing the voice of Chucky. He did a fantastic job as Chucky. Now, this is a very different, as you guys could already tell from the trailers, this is a very different Child's Play than the original one. This is not a mass murderer who transfers his consciousness into the body of a doll through voodoo witchcraft and is sacrificing kids and murder and blah, 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 and Jennifer Tilly is not going to come in as bride. This is a very, very different movie that they were probably tempted at some point not to call it Child's Play. They were probably tempted at some point to call it something different because it is very different. This is a piece of AI robot that something goes a little bit wrong. I won't give away what goes wrong. Something a little bit wrong goes wrong with this programming, and he turns out to be a psychotic killing machine as a result. Not a lot of stuff that we haven't seen before. This is your stereotypical and classic, if you want to use a better word, classic kind of tale of AI gone wrong, which we've seen in many other movies, granted, but it's used pretty cleverly, and I think putting the idea of that together with the motif of what Child's Play classically was, I think it was actually a pretty creative idea, which is why I've liked the trailer so far. But aside from some really funny moments, including Paperboy from, I can't remember the actor's name, Paperboy from Atlanta, who's probably the highlight of the movie other than Mark Hamill, doing the voice of Chucky. He was really funny in it. This is a very bad movie. I mean, it is a very bad movie. And I mentioned this on my Twitter last night as I was walking home. I'm walking out of the theater. Anne watched Toy Story with me. She then went home. I stuck around and watched Child's Play after that. So I'm walking out of the theater after it was done, and there are these two women walking in front of me. They weren't talking to me, but they're walking in front of me. And I put this up on my social media for those of you who follow me on social media. And the one girl said to the other, "That was so bad, it triggered my period." To which I couldn't help myself but laugh out loud, which caused a very awkward moment because it made it look like I was eavesdropping. I wasn't meaning to eavesdrop. They turned around and looked at me. I'm like, I'm sorry, which I thought was pretty hilarious. But you know how sometimes there are these movies, guys, that you see and you like it, but you go, but I could see why somebody else wouldn't like it. Like there are plenty of movies I like that I go, yeah, but I could see why other people maybe wouldn't like it. This is kind of the opposite for me. To me, this is a really terrible movie that had enough laughs in it, because there are some really good laughs, that has enough laughs in it that has me sitting back and going, I don't like this movie. It's pretty awful, but I can see why there are going to be people who walk out of it having enjoyed themselves overall, because There are some really good laughs. The story is dumb. Tons of logic problems. So much of this movie makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. And I'm talking about even within the logic rules that this movie universe sets up, it still isn't consistent with itself. Aubrey Plaza, who I love Aubrey Plaza, absolutely sleepwalks through this movie. Absolutely sleepwalks through this movie. She has kind of one shining moment near the end of the film, but I won't give away what that is at this point. And even though Mark Hamill's Chucky says a lot of really funny things, a lot of the times there's just no decent dialogue for it. Again, you'd have to see it to understand what I mean. The main kid who plays Andy, pretty strong. Because I'm not big on kid actors. This kid was actually pretty strong, so there's that. It's gory. It absolutely goes for that. It is gory. Some very, very funny moments. There are redeemable things about this movie, but overall, it's pretty awful. It's pretty awful, but it's a pretty awful movie you might get a kick out of. I don't know. Did some of you guys run out to see Child's Play last night? If so, I'd be curious. What did you think about Child's Play? How does what I'm saying measure up to what your experience was? Jump down in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, because I think there are going to be a lot of very differing opinions on this movie. I wish I liked it more because Mark Hamill, the voice of Chucky, is so great. And there are some really, really funny moments, and not just one or two. There are a number of really funny moments in the movie. Unfortunately, not enough for me to overcome just how truly awful the rest of the movie is. But I don't know. I still think some of you guys are going to get a real kick out of it. Let me know what you guys think once you have a chance to see it. All right. With that down.